So, for those of you that are not aware, boosting is now officially against TOS. Not just mage boosting or anything like that, but any kind of boosting is against TOS. Now, the wording is very, very vague, and the timing is incredibly sus, but effectively, Blizzard about 5 days ago updated their in game advertising policies, or 6 days ago as of today, on what is and isn't allowed. And this is for Modern World of Warcraft, Mr. Pandaria Classic, as well as Classic Anniversary, Hardcore, and Season of Discovery. So this does not affect Era realms. In Era, you can GDKP and boost to your heart's content, but in every other version of the game, selling raid loot for gold and boosting are not allowed anymore. So the entire mage boosting situation, the entirety of people trying to sell 1 to 58 packages or whatever to get you leveled up is now a bannable offense, and you can be banned for offering these services, whether you're doing it for friends, you're doing it for other people. Now, selling in-game items and services such as carries or boosting for real money is not allowed. Organizations that offer boosting, matchmaking, escrow, or other non-traditional services, including those offered for gold, are prohibited, especially those operated across multiple realms. Individuals and guilds are allowed to sell items, crafted items, profession services for gold, but can only advertise these trades in-game to the trade chat channel. Now, on Reddit, people are going over this. You know, that people don't really care so long as it means that the chat channels are cleared up. But for the most part, the biggest issue here, the biggest drama point, at least for me personally, the biggest reason that I'm honestly kind of upset about this is this would have been amazing had they done it at the launch of Anniversary. The fact that this only even came into effect at the introduction of the level boost is pretty much fucking diabolical. Like, genuinely, the level boost was fixed about 5 days ago. 6 days ago, give or take. I think the level boost was the level 58 boost was fixed on the 15th. Took about 2 days to get it working, a day and a half, if I remember correctly. And then they immediately updated the post, the in-game advertising, to mean that now it's bannable. So they effectively made it so that boosting is against TOS unless you just buy Blizzard's boost. And had these realms been fresh, and there'd been no boosting, no GDKP, no nothing allowed from the get-go, I would have been all for it. And I'm still for it, because overall I think mage boosting and all forms of boosting is against the spirit and integrity of Classic, and I think it's bad design that people want to skip everything. That's a whole different video on topic. We're not going to cover into the nitty-gritty, the reasoning and the integrity of all the bullshit behind why people boost. All I want to say is the timing is incredibly fucking suspicious and is incredibly fucking off, and it's honestly low-key kind of fucking disappointing that this happened now. In fact, there's a group called the Class Buzz Roundtable where me and a bunch of creators all hang out, and my boy Hammer actually made a thing saying, I'm gonna read it here. I honestly support all these changes, even the GDKP ban, but under different circumstances. If these were all put in place from day one of Anniversary, no boosting, no item selling, no GDKPs, we'd be playing a totally different game. But the changes are made after all the whales eating, and then people trying to play the other way get screwed even harder than if these things weren't banned. That's my only issue. These changes are great and I'm all for them, but they should have been done at the start on a fresh economy. Doing them now does nothing but hurt normal players. Meanwhile, half the server has gold cap and I'm over here struggling to buy an idol for this ring. And that is my biggest issue, my biggest concern. The biggest reason I'm personally upset is because of the timing, is because of the placement, is because of the when, the how, the who. These are all technically good changes made by Blizzard. But the timing is so fucked. Now, I know for the most part, the entire dev team is over there working on Classic Plus. There's maybe 3 people total on TBC and maybe 3 people on MOP. And I'm probably being generous on saying there's 6 people working on non-Classic Plus or non-next season, because majority of the dev team isn't working on any existing game mode. They're working on the future, the big product. The product that finally got them a panel at BlizzCon. A whole Classic panel over at BlizzCon. But the current Classic player base is told to Beat your meat and be fucking happy you got something. Now, again, good changes. But come on, the timing is so fucked. The timing is genuinely atrocious. This hurts regular players more than it hurts anybody else. Genuinely, right now, if you are playing, you can't do any kind of like AoE skip, AoE pulls, the mobs start teleporting, you know, like the anti-boosting measures, self-gold farming measures, all of these things that people were doing for gold and to help themselves enjoy the game is removed from the game. Right now, the only way to play is a much slower and shittier version of the game on an already fucked economy and server base. Heck, I'm gonna read a quote from Tallow. The fact that everyone had months and months of boosting is such a crazy thing to think about, and now no one can do that. But you have the goal/nerf to charge $80 for cosmetic seasonal items. None of this will carry over on this move to retail. And on top of that, you get 25G pocket change. Not even enough to afford dual spec. So it's like, again, my content creator friends are saying things, I'm saying things. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of videos coming out in the coming few days about the whole topic and whole situation. But from like my personal opinion and my personal perspective and my personal desires and goals and the way I enjoy the game, I've never been like a big gold farming person, or I've never been like a big boosting person. But I don't see a universe where, for the average player, these changes are a good thing. Especially on an economy and a server and a community that's already as developed and fleshed out and expanded upon as the current anniversary crowd is. I'm gonna be real. This is very short-sighted, very clearly unthought out of Blizzard's, from Blizzard's perspective on how they implemented all of these changes, how they've done things. I think GDKP being removed is overall good for the game. I think boosting being banned is overall good for the game. But I do not think these changes have been implemented in a healthy, smooth, and rewarding manner. In Season of Discovery, no GDKP and no boosting for the most part. The servers were healthy, leveling was fast, the gameplay design was smooth, consumables were affordable, everybody could play the game and everybody could do things. And in Anniversary, we got none of that. In Anniversary, you got told to go fuck yourself. In Anniversary, you got told, hey, stop complaining, you're being a little bitch, just play the game. It's not a big deal. And like seeing that, it's very frustrating. And Roth, I know there was a lot of boosting in SOD. What I meant was, I saw as many people leveling by hand and enjoying the open world as I did see people boosting. Because in SOD, you could boost 1 to 60 in like 3 hours on a pally. Like a prop pally could boost you in the Nax phase in like 4 fucking hours. It cost 2,000 gold, but people did it. But leveling was so fast by default. Leveling was so fast by default in SOD that a lot of people didn't boost. I hand leveled 3 characters. I boosted 2 in SOD, don't get me wrong. But it was genuinely easy. Leveling in SOD wasn't difficult by any means, right? We had the built-in joyous journey. But that's beside the point. What I'm saying is SOD put countermeasures in regards to boosting, in regards to GDKP, in regards to consumables, and Anniversary had none of that. All Anniversary had was the removal of their systems, but no way to alleviate the modern gaming in the modern scene, the modern community. So right now, you can get banned for boosting. If you try to boost in game, you can get banned for, GDKP, which they have done before. And any circumvention of that is bannable. You know what's not bannable though? Hard reserving every single item and then selling an item afterwards for gold with no bidding. So you hard reserve, in this context, Drake Fang Talisman. And then somebody offers you 1,000 gold for Drake Fang Talisman. And that's not against TOS. Technically it is. Technically you should be banned. But I haven't heard anybody get banned for it. And in fact, one of the devs, I think it was Kaivos himself, said it on a blue post. You're not going to get banned for doing that, but people just aren't going to play with you. And every single other group I see in Anniversary right now is all Pally tier HR, all Shaman tier HR, DFT HR, this HR, that HR. And every group has something HR. I literally see people selling a Nixia head daily, head of Assyrian daily, heart of Hakar daily sale, idols for sale. It's just become a part of the modern playstyle, and I don't see anybody catching bans for that. That all should be against TOS, but I don't think there's going to be any consequences to those players because I think that's just intended gameplay now. I think they need to either like drop the ban on all these random things like boosting and GDKP, or ban everybody equally. The lackluster approach to banning things and enforcing TOS, in my opinion, is fucking disappointing.